going on, movie? Because look who's back! Look at this crappy studio!
It's still all the same!
We need to fix things. We are back. Summer vacation officially ends today.
Yes. Oh no.
Anyway,
no.
So welcome to the Weaver Wire. Kyle and I discussed it. What should we do? We've missed so much this summer. We also got a lot done this summer. And Kyle was like, let's do your podcast. Let's do a little video and let's talk about what we missed. What we missed. Favorite things of the summer. It was. What we're looking forward to in the fall. We're going to talk about it. So let's just jump right into it, and I'll just bring it over to my guy, Kyle. And Kyle, tell me just anything you want this summer. Something you missed, something you loved that we didn't get a chance to review. Start somewhere.
It was a strange summer, I would say.
I was gone.
yeah, that was a large chunk of
I was in a sabbatical in the woods.
You were on a sabbatical leave. No, I can't really think of what specifically happened over the summer. Like there was just the movies were happening. There were some good ones. There were some not good ones. There were some surprising ones. Like Blind by the Light was a surprise to me. Same with Good Boys. That one I liked as well. Disney was massively taken over with all things happening, so...
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Yeah, I don't know, like, the summer was all good, but I don't think it was maybe one of the more memorable ones, but I also don't think it was, like, one of the worst summers ever.
I like this summer.
Yeah, like, I keep hearing so many, like, podcasts or... I don't know, critics or whatever, just being like, oh, this summer was a terrible one. It was and I was like, no, like, there was some good movies. I mean, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Aladdin became a kind of a big surprise. I don't know, like Rocketman was really good.
Toy Story 4,
Good Boys. I mean, sure, like
Good Boys. That's one we didn't.
Not
get a
all
chance
of them
to
are
do.
mega blockbuster hits, like you always imagine.
SpiderMan
the
Far
summer
From
would
Home
be.
was fantastic.
Yeah, like there was some good ones. Even like the ones that were like okay to me, like Godzilla or I don't know,
Godzilla.
Men in Black was
God.
I don't know. Maybe I didn't like Men in Black as much actually, but I wouldn't call them like awful movies.
I would call Men in Black an awful movie.
So that was the one. That was the one thing about the summer that I found surprising this year was that everyone was saying like, "Oh, it's a terrible summer for movies." And it's like
you need to go to the woods more. No one was saying that in the woods.
Yeah, no kidding. I was stuck looking on the internet, seeing what everyone was talking about. Everyone was complaining about the summer, but I don't know. I thought it was fine.
I liked it. The two things I want to talk about that we didn't get a chance to. Here's your cell phone.
Oh, thanks.
First of all, yesterday we didn't get a chance to review, but yesterday is one of my favorite films of the year. I adored this movie, and I thought it was just super fantastic. The way they used the Beatles music. Were all your favorite songs in there? No. Were a lot of them? Yes. I really liked Danny Boyle's direction. I thought Lily James was great. The guy whose name I'm blanking, the main guy, I thought he was fantastic. It was a unique, crafty story that I really enjoyed. That blew me away. And the other thing that I really wish we would have gotten a chance to review that we didn't was the Knives Out trailer, the Rian Johnson movie. I am so hyped for that. I love that trailer.
Yeah,
that's so good.
I'm trying to remember if that one I was anticipating for the start of the year, but definitely after the trailer.
I didn't even know about it.
I
mean, I knew Ryan was doing a movie after Last Jedi, but I didn't know. It was a surprise to me coming out, so I was like, what is this? And I love, the cast is incredible. It'll be nice seeing Chris Evans. Looks like he's taking a very different character after, right after we've seen him end his, spoilers for Endgame, but, for Captain America, ending that. So it'll be real cool to see him. It's a great cast, and that trailer was really, really phenomenal, and I really, really liked it.
Speaking of trailers, what did you think of the new It Chapter 2 trailer? Because I never reviewed that one.
My reaction is on our channel!
Oh, right there.
Loved it. I love it. I can't wait for it. The early reactions are that it's, I've been seeing a lot of, it's not as good as the first, but the scares are still there. Yeah. It's still pretty good, and I've heard, like, Bill Hader and Pennywise steal the show. So I can't wait to see. I'm a big fan of scary movies now these days. And I can't wait to see it. I loved that last trailer. I love the first one with the old lady kind of wiggling around. I love it. I can't. That comes out this week.
Next weekend.
I think. So not this upcoming.
No,
Thursday,
not Labor Day.
The following one.
Not Labor Day weekend.
It's the weekend after Labor Day.
Yeah,
weekend.
I think
the
so.
Thursday after.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds right.
Okay. So we're okay.
2 weeks out. Yeah, about a week and a half, something like that.
So we'll have to watch football and then go to a real late showing.
Perfect. That's exactly what your dream is.
And that's what we're doing. I got him. But yeah, the It trailer I really liked. There were lots of good trailers this summer. The Top Gun Maverick one surprised me.
Yeah, that one
we're getting a
pretty
Joker
good too.
one tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow, really? Oh, nice.
Or not tomorrow, excuse me, Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
We're getting it Wednesday.
Okay, still cool too.
But I mean, the biggest trailer of the year is the one that dropped on Friday, which is The Mandalorian.
Yeah, D23 definitely wrapped up the summer pretty good.
It really did.
Yeah.
It just from the
for a
tons
lot
of
of reasons,
TV shows, the TV shows, the trailers, the rumors that there was footage of Rise of Skywalker with Rey being in the dark, a Sith with the red lightsaber. I saw somebody on Twitter post, "Why are y'all freaking out? This happened with Luke too," and then it was Luke's face when he has the vision of fighting Vader, and that this could be something where she has to train against her own demons, kind of like a mind focused thing, which would be really cool. You know, kind of like they do that in a lot of some animated shows I really like, where you know you have to go into the mind of yourself and you end up fighting the actual dark version of yourself. That would be really cool if she ended up fighting the dark version of herself and then had to defeat it to be pure good.
I don't know.
That would be real cool.
I don't know how I thought of this, but when you said like that happens in other shows, I was like, TV shows, Glow!
Let's move to that!
Because Glow's fantastic.
Glow season 3 came out this summer, and Kyle and I talked about it. We were texting, and I was like, early in the summer, when does Glow come out? And we were like, I think it comes out like this date. And like a few weeks go by, a month goes by, and all of a sudden, I thought he had seen it, and then I get a text from him 2 days later. I'm 4 eps in, and Kyle just all caps, "Glow's out, and you didn't tell me!" Guys, go check out Glow on Netflix. I really like season 3. Yeah, I know some people are not digging it, but I love it.
There's just a lot of sadder stuff happening.
It is more sad, but
get over it.
Get that drama. It's setting up for maybe a redemption season.
Yeah. Did we talk about Cobra Kai season 2 as well? Did we talk about
I thought we did review Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I think we did too.
That was early in the summer. That was before we left.
Yeah.
Oh, Booksmart was such a good movie this year.
Booksmart was good too. Rocket Man was good too. Yeah, is there any like summer movies that are still gonna like be memorable for you?
Cobra Kai season 2.
Like after a couple of months maybe.
That is still memorable with me?
Or at least like you think later in the year is still going to be memorable. Like Yesterday, you think is I assume that Yesterday's going to be
actually the three movies so far that I think by the time award season comes out that I'll be like, man, these movies are so good. Yesterday I really, really loved, but like I won't think about it. I don't think. I mean, I will, but I might not.
For like your own personal.
Like Booksmart was so good. Booksmart's one of my favorite. Obviously, Endgame, which started the year. Or the summer, but Midsommar for me. The more I think about it, the more I love it. I'm bummed I haven't seen more of it. There's rumors there's supposed to be like a 3-hour director cut coming out on the DVD.
Yeah,
I want to check that out.
Sure.
I really liked Midsommar. I didn't love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as much as I wanted to going in, but I've seen it twice now, and it's grown on me the more I've watched it.
Yeah.
I guess we did review it in our weird format.
I had a tough time reviewing it though.
Yeah, still has some issues where it's like I like what I'm watching, but at the same time it's not building to the stake, so it gets a little boring. But that last 30 minutes is phenomenal to me, and I love it. And it's funny is like my dad loved it. Like, my dad I've never heard my dad be like, I wanted to go see it again. And he's like, you want to go with me a third time? You a third, me a second? Because he grew up in that era, and he's like, I just love seeing all those references, and he was quoting it with me. I mean, like, this is even in the trailer, but when the fight with Bruce Lee's happening, and he's like, you know, anyone who kills anyone in a fight goes to jail. My dad thought that was hysterical.
There's a lot of good one-liners.
Yeah, both my sister and my mom pretty much fell asleep through half of it. I mean, they liked it enough, but my dad was just laughing the whole way through and really loved it. And I actually wasn't sure he was gonna, but he liked it. But I liked Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, definitely.
And Midsommar.
I mean, like people know like how Tarantino like makes his movies, you know, but I would say this is one on like the outskirts where it feels different. Like it's the same, but it feels different. You know what I mean? Like kind of like how Jackie Brown kind of feels so different.
I don't
That's,
put
like,
it
one
in
of
the
Tarantino's movies.
Jackie Brown to me is one of, in my perspective, is considered one of his worst films of his. I'm not big on Jackie Brown or Death Proof. I personally don't think those are great movies. I do need to give them a fair rewatch. It's been a good 5, 6, 7 years since I've seen them. I think it's a really good. I mean, it's a good movie to me. I like it. It's grown on me, but it's more like The Hateful Eight. The Hateful Eight is so similar. It takes a long time to build up to this ending.
Yeah.
And there's at some points you're like, where are the stakes? Where are we going with this? Like it's so much dialogue. Whereas and I love Tarantino's dialogue, but he also does his action and his violence so well that I missed that for a little bit. I mean, when the end of the movie happens and it does get a little violent, I was like, oh, that's right, this is Tarantino's movie. You kind of forget about that. And yeah, the acting is phenomenal and things like that, but that movie's got some issues that could have cut it down a little bit on its time, where I think it would have worked a little better. So it's middle tier Tarantino to me.
Sure.
I like a few other movies over it more, some of his great ones, but it's still good, and it has grown on me more that I've seen it, and I think it is worth a second viewing for most people, especially if you left kind of like, I think it's good for a second viewing. You don't have to go in the theater, but it's worth it, I think.
Sure.
What else this summer happened? Should we get right to your thoughts on what I want to talk about?
Yeah, sure, that's
The
fine.
Mandalorian?
Sure, I mean,
It wasn't in my little initial reaction.
Sure. I mean, I was just going to list off other movies I really liked.
You can do that first, then we'll go to The Mandalorian.
Like I said, I mean, I think we reviewed Rocket Man already. I really like that one. That's
great.
definitely going to be memorable for the rest of the year.
I hope that gets award contention.
I do think Midsummer Samar is I hope it does get award contention, because I think it is worthy of it, despite me not getting much taken away from it as much as I wish I would have.
Loved it. Watch the 3-hour cut.
Blinded by the Light, I really enjoyed. It's so
need to see it.
It's definitely so cheesy to where you'll have points where you're like, all right, take it easy there, don't get that cheesy. But then it's just so charming at the same time to where it's like, I forgive ya. So it tricks you in that way, but it is such a really heartwarming, endearing story that I just ended up enjoying that quite a bit. Where are you going, Buckaroo?
I'm just doing a little check.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, so those two movies are definitely some takeaways for me. The Kitchen, I wish could have been better. I don't know if anyone went to see it, but
looked terrible.
Yeah,
they didn't even market it.
No, I think Warner Bros. Definitely knew that they had a stinker on that one, which is a shame, because I don't think it's a lot of people are saying it's one of the worst movies of the year. I don't really view it that way personally. It's definitely not a good movie, but I don't think it's such a train wreck.
Of the year?
That's true. I really can't think of a movie that's the worst of the year for me.
Men in Black.
I know I didn't like Men in Black all that much.
Yeah, I didn't either, but I didn't hate it, but I'm trying to think of what I liked less than it. What did I like less than it?
Yeah, there wasn't really anything for me that I definitely hated watching.
Dark Phoenix was not good.
That one was just sad.
It was.
That one just had a lot of potential, and it definitely suffered from many circumstances, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah, I mean, those are the two that really come to my mind.
To be honest, the most disappointing thing this summer might be Game of Thrones! Even though I liked the last
That one did. The SpiderMan thing for me, that bummed
Movie
me out.
meals, let's get into it. If I have to have one more conversation with somebody who just forgot that the Game of Thrones writers wrote, most of the entire show and most of all the great episodes they still love, and that I had a conversation with people who said, I'm boycotting this. Family members of mine. I'm boycotting. I'm not going to see the new Star Wars. I'll see it on Blu-ray because I don't want to support I won't see the Rise of Skywalker because I don't want to support that Disney is with the Game of Thrones writers. Grow up, you 45-year-old loser. That's what I remember thinking. I was so I can't have one more of those conversations. I had one yesterday.
Yeah.
And I cannot, and I'll probably still have them, but I just can't do it anymore.
It's so strange to me. This is coming from the guy who's not a big fan of Game of Thrones or the writing on Game of Thrones when I did watch the first few seasons.
I thought you said the writing was good for what you watched, but it just didn't. The show overall just didn't.
That's what I was getting to.
Okay,
That's what I was getting to. Was that I didn't like the writing all that much. I acknowledge that it is good writing, but it's just not writing that was captivating me. And that was my biggest takeaway from the show and why I haven't continued watching it per se. But even I have to admit, people saying they shouldn't do a Star Wars movie are dumb.
But people are just,
that's a bit.
But
ridiculous.
This is the thing.
They are clearly good because they helped write one of like the biggest shows ever made, and you're just gonna throw that all away because of the last season. Like, that's weird to me.
Well, some people
I don't
say
get
the
that
last
thought
couple
process,
seasons that like 6, 7, and 8 are all kind
But
of
yet
really
they
quick.
all
Even
still
though I
liked
like
it.
6, 7, and 8 more than I like season, I think it's 4 is my least favorite. But the worst thing is the people who go, well, they didn't have books to adapt, so they're just not good. It's like, why do they need books to adapt? What do we... I want to see. Let's see how Gemini Man is a full-on movie script that we're seeing Benioff and Weiss. I think it's just Benioff who's writing it. I can't remember, but let's see how their new Netflix big project's gonna do because if this Star Wars movie's great, no one's gonna care. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh, I always knew they were great writers."
Yeah,
Grow
all you need is a win. So.
Yeah, I mean, look at Ridley Scott. He just gave out trash after trash after trash. And then one day he was like, here's The Martian. And everyone was like, you're amazing.
Yeah, and then he went somewhere.
I liked Alien Covenant.
I think I was fine with it, but it's just, I just don't remember it, to be honest.
I liked Alien Covenant. So now let's get into it, because the biggest news was Disney Plus and The Mandalorian.
Like, literally
I got my thoughts out. Go check out my reaction.
You did?
But yeah.
Oh. I was not paying attention, apparently. I had no idea. So.
That I posted our reaction, you and I spoke about it.
Did we? Oh,
yeah, after the movie on Friday.
About the SpiderMan thing?
No, I said let's talk about The Mandalorian.
Oh, Oh, okay. That makes way.
We can talk about Spider-Man if you want, though.
I don't know where we're going.
I was trying to go to The Mandalorian, and you were clearly not listening to me.
It's about Star Wars. So yeah, I actually do want to talk about The Mandalorian.
No, we'll do your Spider-Man first, because we should end on a better note.
Okay.
So yeah, if you guys don't know all the drama, which I'm sure you do, is that Disney and Sony, it sounds like, are in agreement, or not going to renew a contract to have Kevin Feige, a producer, and Spider-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So Kyle, what are your thoughts?
It's a real bummer. It's a real bummer, but I'm not... There's no sides to really take on this, because, I mean...
They're both dumb.
Because they're both dumb, but they're also in the right to, like, for what's happening. Basically, like, Disney wants a 50-50 split on, like, the commissions, I believe, for, like, box office or whatever.
I think it was 50. They want to go to 50-50 split. We'll help pay for half, and we want half.
And then they want half in return. And naturally, Sony said no, which does make sense. Like, I
think
Sony
came back with a 30-70 deal for them.
30 being Disney.
Yes.
Which I think is reasonable, but Disney, I guess, doesn't.
Well, Disney said no, and then the rumors is it's still negotiations, that they haven't.
Yeah, nothing's official about it yet.
Said
so
no.
like, keep that in mind. Like, nothing's official about it yet. It's just
leaked
looking.
It.
Yeah.
It looks pretty clear that Disney leaked it, because the fans are shitting on Sony.
I do want to get that out of the way. Quit saying boycott Sony. Quit making events.
No, we're rushing Sony's headquarters.
Rush to do what? Tom Holland's not stuck in a dungeon.
If we Naruto run, we will save him.
He's not trapped in a dungeon in the bowels of Sony headquarters.
You're right, he's at Disney's headquarters at D23.
Yeah, what are you gonna march into Sony? Like, stop it. That's ridiculous. Go do some research. Realize that they're both in the wrong and they're both in the right for what's happening here. Like, it's all business. So, like, knock it off. That's so dumb. But it is also, like, a major bummer, because I do like how Spider-Man's been able to be incorporated into the MCU, and I think if you take that away, like, it's gonna really, like, put a damper onto, like, the Spider-Man franchise going forward, at least with the Tom Holland stuff. I don't know what they're gonna do about Spider-Verse, or what about the Venom movies, and I don't know what's gonna happen with that anyway, but at least for, like, the Tom Holland stuff, it's gonna be a bummer. I hope that they come to an agreement, because I like where Spider-Man's been at right now. This
is a situation where your favorite player gets traded to another team. This is a business decision. The only people who lose are the fans. Yeah. We're the ones who are losing this. Sony believes that with their Into the Spider-Verse and Venom making money, that they can still make good money with just Spider-Man. And, it would be so jarring for Tom Holland for Spider-Man never to reference Tony Stark again. For that Tom Holland Spider-Man to never reference how important Tony was and the Avengers and those events took place. And then if you just throw him
after Endgame and Far From Home.
And if you just throw him into a universe with suddenly Venom in it, which, could work. But if you just immediately, you're like, Spider-Man 3, we're going to do just Venom versus Spider-Man. Why? Eddie Brock's movie, the Venom movie, was him as an anti-hero. If all of a sudden he goes from, no, I'm going to save these people with my symbiote, and I'm only going to keep Venom because it'll be better. That's how that movie went, and then suddenly he wants to murder Peter Parker. It makes no sense.
Unless they pull a BVS and Tom Holland just swings into San Francisco and he's like, quit trying to hurt people, I'll hurt you. And then they like have a
battle.
I might actually watch that.
Then they have to beat Carnage together, and it's just...
Yeah, exactly.
Sony
Norman
has...
Osborn
both the
Carnage
companies
somewhere.
are ridiculous. I get why Marvel is saying, hey, we're the reason he's doing good. Far From Home just became your highest grossing movie
they're
ever.
Right, to a degree.
Well, yeah,
right.
Disney can come at you and say, hey, we want 50-50. We had 5% last time. We want 50-50. And they say, no. And then they come back with another offer. Sony has every right not to... It's a business move. They have every right to say, we're not going to give you all these proceeds. He's our character. He is ours. You gave him to us years ago.
Yeah.
And we have been successful with him. Amazing Spider-Man 1, I actually like. I like the first
Amazing
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 2, it's not great at all, but it was profitable. Like, it did make a profit.
Even Spider-Man 3 did.
Oh, it was the biggest. Yeah, it was like the biggest movie ever.
Homecoming was bigger. Endgame or Far From Home was the biggest movie they've ever had. But the only people who are losing are us.
Exceeded Skyfall as Sony's biggest movie ever made, or something like that. Yeah, it was.
I just said that.
Oh, okay, cool. So I shouldn't tune him out all the time.
I literally just said that, and then you just repeated what I said.
Oh, it was emphasis.
But yes,
Josh Peck, emphasis.
So I mean, I think they should come together and make a deal. If I'm Disney, what do you do? You're not in the hole. What are you doing? Like, we get Fox.
There is rumblings that they're kind of in the hole because of the Fox thing, but I feel like they have billions of dollars.
ESPN doesn't get money for them. That actually costs some money, things like that. But they
have to pay for Disney Plus, like the Star Wars theme park as well. I don't know.
Yeah,
even though they make billions,
their parks are struggling. But it's. I mean, it's a business. You can come out and say, no, we want 50%, but then when they come back and offer 30, when I first read that report, I thought they were just highballing them. And they were saying, no, we'll take 50, hoping they come back with 30, 35, 40. And then they're like, oh, yep, like you're just highballing because you're getting what you want. And no, Disney's legitimately like, no, we just want them. Mm-hmm. And it's just... I think Disney in the end will be fine. I think their streaming service is going to kill. I think everything's going to kill. They need to fix their parks and ESPN right now, which is kind of the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And whatever Fox properties that are still coming out need to actually make a profit for them. And a few have. A lot have not.
A lot have not. Like their biggest one this year has
Phoenix.
it's been Breakthrough, I'm pretty sure.
Breakthrough?
It came out in like April. It was like a
what is that?
Christian religious
that was their biggest movie of the year?
I'm pretty sure that was their most profitable one that year.
Well, I mean, I think some of their other smaller movies, because wasn't Ready or Not a Fox film, and it looks like that's making money. Yeah. That's making money for them.
We'll
so
talk
it's
about
not,
that
not
another time.
It's not a lot, but it is something that is helpful. But come on, Disney, go back and take that 30 deal, because the only people who are getting hurt are the fans. I mean, there were rumors that Kevin Feige had a 3 trilogies idea for Spider-Man to do high school, college, and out of college. And Tom Holland is literally his dream. He's talked about, I want to play this character for the rest of my life. He wants he wants to have that Tony Stark legacy, that Wolverine. He wants that to be as an actor, and give it to him. Go in and figure this out. And I think they still will. If they don't, they don't. But it's crazy that we thought this deal would never happen, and then we were like, they're crazy not to keep doing this deal, and now they're...
Yeah.
Now they're not.
I remember keep reading like reports being like 4 years ago when this deal was made. I was like, oh my god, that was 4 years ago.
They made 5 movies in that time.
Yeah, like pretty much. I mean, with that character, yeah, pretty much.
Because they only have one left on their deal, which they do have one more left on their deal, is what I've been continuing to see. But anyway, let's change the tone. Let's get your thoughts on the Mandalorian trailer for a little TV news, any Disney Plus stuff, and then why don't we wrap up with a quick review of the last 2 movies?
Do we want to talk about Comic-Con too?
Yeah, we can talk about a little Comic-Con.
I actually don't really remember what came out of Comic-Con. So well, anyway, yeah.
Dark Phoenix stuff.
Dark Phoenix stuff. At
Comic-Con?
Dark
Phoenix. Yeah, was that before or after?
No, that was after.
I don't know. Anyway,
it was mostly Marvel stuff anyway that came out.
It was all the TV stuff for Marvel. It was all
the
big slate, couple trailers.
Yeah, maybe we'll just say what our favorite was.
The Cats trailer.
Do you want to talk about the Cats?
No,
all right, let's talk about Mandalorian. Sorry, I'm all over the place.
You just is avoiding the Mandalorian. What did you think of the Mandalorian trailer?
As much as it seems like I am avoiding this, as much as it seems like I am avoiding this trailer, I really am not meaning to, because I actually really did
looks
love
fantastic.
that trailer. I was watching on my small little iPhone down here, and I was like, oh my god, this is amazing!
Meanwhile, I was watching it on a 70-inch TV, like, oh!
No, I dug it. Like, it feels like Star Wars as like a Western, but it doesn't feel like it's it feels like it's going to be a lot more darker of a show as compared to like some of the movies, which I'm going to really appreciate. I think like it looks as big of a scale as like the movies are, which I think is very impressive that that's how serious they're going to be taking their shows going forward, and I love it. I really hope that this show does end up being really good, because I could see like this being a sign of like people kind of steering back into really loving Star Wars again, and not like this weird divided love-hate about it or whatever it is. But I'm hoping the Mandalorian is able to do that, because there was a lot there, just in scope-wise, just in terms of like what this story is going to be, that I think it could really end up being something special. Is this a limited series, or is this going to be like...
It's a miniseries.
It's a miniseries?
A miniseries can be anywhere from... We can have one season for 6 episodes. We could have 10 seasons for 6 episodes of a season.
Cool.
That's just what miniseries are these days. They can just go for however
Most streaming
long they
shows,
want.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And,
okay, cool. So I just wanted to...
No, it looks amazing. It looks
question.
dark, looks gritty. It's back to the Kurosawa films that made the first trilogy so great, and that first movie so great. There's rumors there is going to be stuff for the kids. There's going to be stuff for the adults. It's going to reach everybody. I mean, they've got so many good hands behind it. Jon Favreau wrote 3 episodes before he was even greenlit, before he even mentioned it to Disney.
So he
then came to Disney and said...
He was like the showrunner then?
He is the showrunner.
He is the showrunner.
Oh, yeah. And him and Filoni should be in charge of...
From Clone Wars, right?
Yeah, and Rebels. And
Rebels?
He should be in charge of everything.
Rebels.
He should be in charge of everything for them. Kathleen should just let him be in charge of all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, and I like Kathleen, but, yeah, it's going to be darker, it's going to be gritty, but he wrote 3 episodes and then went in while he was doing Lion King and went in and said, hey, I have this, and they were like, this is incredible, right? 3 more, so he wrote 3 more eps, and I mean, they have great directors, with a great showrunner. That trailer looks amazing, and I can't wait for it. It's coming out November 12th, can't come quick enough. And it is, they announced today, it's going to be...
when the service drops?
Yep. And the first episode will be on right away, as well as like The Lady and the Tramp and lots of those other movies.
Right.
But it is going to be 1 episode weekly, which I prefer that format because I like the water cooler talk. I like the kind of discussion about it. As much as I do enjoy binging,
more build up.
It is nice, and especially if you can be like, if you can walk up to somebody and be like, dude, do you have Disney Plus? And they're like, what? No,
Disney
I don't
Plus?
have Disney Plus.
What's that?
And they're like, do you like Star Wars? Yeah, well, there's this new gritty show that's like for adults on Star Wars. Go check it out. And they do, and then, they're just going to help. And then when they go, how much? You go, $7 a month. And they're like, all right, I'll get it.
To start off with,
But so what
crazy.
should we talk about the 2 movies we saw?
Sure,
And
why
then
not?
wrap this up.
Yeah,
So we saw this week, Ready or Not and the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah,
which,
both great.
Yeah, they were. I was very looking forward to Peanut Butter Falcon. Let's start with Ready or Not. I remember seeing the trailers being like, this looks like kind of a fun little... like crazy little horror film I'm kind of excited for. I don't know if it'll be good. And then all of a sudden, all the reviews were coming out, and it was getting great reviews, and it hyped me up, and I was excited. And it's a lot of fun. It's funny. It's got some good scares. It's got some great acting, and it's a fun time in the theater. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those summer movies that takes you by surprise, but it's going to be one that you'll remember, I think, for the rest of the year. It's kind of like what we kind of missed throughout the years is that, we don't get that many surprises anymore, it feels like, and it's just nice to have a surprise like this one. And there's a lot to have in this movie, despite it not being like, the biggest, maybe one of the biggest movies of the year or whatnot. Like, there's, like you're saying, humor, there's some scares, there's so much blood to it, but it also has a lot of heart to it. Like, there's also like a real character depth to it and connection between some of its characters I've found really endearing too. And it just has a little bit of flavoring for everyone, despite what the trailer may seem like it actually is. But I would really recommend people to check it out. Samara Weaving, who stars in this thing, like
She's great.
She gives a terrific performance. Like kind of one of those breakout performances that are tough to see at times. Like, you don't get many of those too, I don't think. And for her, like, it's one that I think I'll be able to remember for the next few months.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really enjoyed it. And then over to Peanut Butter Falcon. I loved this movie. The more I think about it, the more I love it. It's up there. When you asked that question earlier about which movies am I going to remember, it's probably most likely going to be this out of all of them now, because I just loved it. It was great seeing Shia back and getting reminded how good he is in these type of, and just as an actor. He's so good. And I mean, Dakota Johnson gave a performance that I just was in love with. The young man whose name I am blanking on, who is the main character, who is the Peanut Butter Falcon, he blew me away with how good he is and how he showed me heart. And I mean, for those of you who don't know, the actor I'm referring to has Down syndrome in real life and plays a runaway Down syndrome kid.
Zach Gottsigan? Zach Gottsigan.
Sure.
Sorry if I'm butchering that.
Yeah, but he is fantastic.
He
shows you heart.
Yeah.
And he shows you his emotions. I mean, he to me is delivered one of the an Oscar-worthy performance. I would like to see him get a nomination because he is that good. And it's been in a year where right now there's not a whole lot of people I'm sitting back going, who do I want for Oscars? I've got Rocketman up there with Taron Egerton. I think Robert Downey Jr. I think should be up there. Florence Pugh, like Midsummer, I like them a lot for Oscars right now. But I'm sitting back going, I think Peanut Butter Falcon will get that recognition. And I think he's good enough. I think Shia and Dakota were all good enough to lead nominations. I don't know about wins yet since I haven't seen all the other movies, but that are gonna come out for award season. But it blew me away that I just would go. I would have a smile on my face through some of these moments. I would literally get choked up during the hard moments, and it blew me away how much I liked this movie. It's the Shia LaBeouf this year.
It's coming. Just wait.
His next movie is going to be as good as it looks.
I'm hoping. Yeah, that's that was all well said, because that's about on par with what I'm thinking too. Like, this movie is just so charming. It's so funny. Like, there's a lot of great character moments, not just between one another when it comes to the acting, but just with the growth that these characters face as well. Especially Zach's character his character was just so well done for me, and it hit home.
His same name. His name in the movie was Zach.
Yeah,
I believe used his name.
I believe the directors actually knew that actor from like a camp or something before they got this movie, and they thought specifically of him. I believe that's what the story is. I'd have to double check, but if that is the case, like, I think that is really cool that they picked him, and he did an incredible job too, for sure. My biggest takeaway was that it's a story of friendship and like a story of like trying to grow as like your own person, trying to find your own path to your dreams that you're looking for. But it's also a story of people who feel like they're the bad guys of their own story and trying to become the heroes of their own story instead, and trying to learn about like what is going to be that defining thing as a hero. Like, whether you are someone who does have Down syndrome or signs of Down syndrome, or just a person who's just going through a hard time, as Shia LaBeouf's character who is just fantastic. Like, he just proves how great of a
It's
talent
about
he
loss
is.
too.
Yeah, about loss too. Very
Acceptance.
Good point to make as well. And it hit home for me too, because I have a cousin that's that has Down syndrome too, and like, seeing this story just made me think of him, and I just appreciate a movie that is able to like think of types of people that we just don't normally think of, and that we should like give them more attention, because they are people too, and that was my biggest takeaway from that too. So I'm with you, Al. Like, it is such a great, fantastic movie that more people should be checking out.
And I think it's slowly getting a more wide release. I mean, it came to this town. And I hope it continues to do that and just keep putting it in more theaters as we get closer, as Oscar season's around the corner. Keep putting it in theaters and keep expanding it and leave it in there, I think, is a good way to handle it. And then, when your release is done, put it on a place like a Netflix so more people can see it, because it is fantastic. And I hope it gets Oscar buzz, because it's one of my favorite films of the year. Is there anything else you wanted to discuss before we wrap this up? Anything in the summer? Anything we missed? We're back, baby, for a while.
No,
I think caught up.
I think we're pretty much about caught up. I'm looking forward to fall, because I think the fall is actually going to give us quite a few handful of movies that are going to be pretty darn good. It Chapter 2, Frozen 2, of course.
Rise of Skywalker!
Knives Out 2 is another
Joker.
one. Yeah, Joker. Joker's going to be very interesting. I've been, so like hesitant about that movie, so I'm curious to see what I'm gonna get out of it.
I'm really looking forward to a Ford v Ferrari as well. I think that trailer really got me.
Yeah.
I talked about that. My dad's a big car guy. We talked a lot about that over the summer.
Yeah, that trailer.
I'm really looking forward to that. there's a lot coming out. It's gonna be a good fall, I think. Hopefully better than last year. But yeah, so anything else, or should we wrap up?
Real quick, any of those Marvel shows or movies that you're excited for? Like, just throw one out there.
I mean, the announcement of a She-Hulk is interesting. That Bruce Banner is not the only Hulk in the Marvel Cinematic Universe anymore. Yeah. I love bringing in a Miss Marvel. I think that is just absolutely fantastic. I think she's a cool character. I personally would like to see Anna Kendrick play her. She's in the Disney family. She was at D23. I think she would do a great job. I did some research. The Kit Harington news of him joining an already insane cast for the Eternals.
Eternals cast is just nuts.
And I was looking at the character he's playing, and I was like, oh, he's kind of, he's been doing this kind of stuff. He's been sword training and all this because he plays,
playing the character Black Knight. So I wonder if the Eternals are going to be like taking really far into the past then, to where like they meet that character of like the medieval times or something.
I've heard rumors that before Black Knight, has been part of the Avengers, that they're going to mess with time to bring him into today's world so he can be part of the newer Avengers.
Man, that's going to be crazy. That's crazy to think.
I don't know much about him.
Just how far we've come She-Hulk, and let's throw in Black Knight. Let's see if that's.
And Moon Knight will be a great.
Fans have been waiting for Moon Knight anything forever.
Yeah, people were losing it.
Same with Blade too. Like, people have wanted Blade in the MCU for a long time.
And now we got Mahershala Ali.
Yeah,
it's a pretty, and the announcement of Black Panther 2. We know we got Guardians will eventually be coming. Hopefully they figure SpiderMan out. But all that stuff, I mean, blew me away. The Clone Wars coming back.
That'll be cool.
Is going to be real cool. There was a lot of great stuff. I mean, Disney's D23 was bigger than Comic-Con for me this year. And the people who won Comic-Con this year was Disney.
Yeah.
And that's
all who showed up.
I mean, they added so many shows, all this different stuff. Loki will be the first one of the Marvel when we get the WandaVision thing. Falcon and Winter Soldier, you had a great actor like Wyatt Russell to that cast to come after him. You're bringing
that was a good
What If looks really cool that everyone's coming back to voice their characters.
Footage, man. Apparently that footage was crazy good.
Apparently it really was. I can't wait. Disney is... Come on, Disney, take your 30%, because I'm subscribing. Like, come on, we gotta.
Yeah, that's true though, man. Crazy.
All right, anything on those shows you want to add?
No, that's all. I just wanted to see what came out and stuck to you, so.
All of it. I want to know.
I want all of it.
I'm going to get it, and I'm going to binge everything. Lizzie McGuire is back, baby!
Oh, yeah.
High School Musical, the series! It's time! My youth is taking over! I watched some Lizzie McGuire.
Oh, that's right. Of course.
I grew up with two sisters. How did I not watch Lizzie McGuire?
Yeah, what young boy who had an older sister didn't?
That's true. All right, guys, as we wrap up, thank you for watching The Weaver Wire if you're all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, like, subscribe, share. We are back, baby. We are back for a good while.
Sorry for the delay.
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, we got tons of stuff's going to be happening. A sizzle reel we might review drops tomorrow, or I might just review tomorrow for Star Wars. We've got the Joker coming up, It coming up, all this great different stuff. So, hey, guys, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, and as always, thanks for watching, Mom.
See you guys.